Today, I want to give you a quick update on a handful of stocks we've called out recently. Some are exploding, running 60, 80, 100% plus. If you're on the sidelines, now's the time to take advantage of this incredible opportunity in the small caps. Now, I want to start with Koya Therapeutics, ticker COYA. Absolutely exploded from $3.21, almost $9.30 today. Consecutive higher highs and all-time high daily prints. Now, this is exactly what we mapped out from the beginning here. We told you that this big resistance line at 536 was the trigger all the way back from when it started trading here. Every time it went above, it got yanked back down. Anytime it tried to test near or at that level, it got smacked down. Once it got that break, and when we alerted, it was ultimately 475, 484, somewhere in this range, as it took that retest, that last lower high, and then exploded. And then from there, pretty much we saw it test the intraday high, which was $8, right? That was that triple top rejection. And the one thing that I saw was super, super technical here was the support and resistance flip, right? Massive resistance all across this line. It breaks out, it comes back, retests the same area that was resistance from the history of trading, and then absolutely melts up, rips faces, and jumps from 8 all the way to $9 and nearly 30 cents. So really, really impressive here for Koya. If we go from that mark and when we called it out, 485 all the way up, right? Somewhere 90, 91% up from when we called it out. Pretty fast too, right? 60 trading days or less, like 3 months maybe. I think this was like the top stocks or hot stocks for November, something like that. Now we're in February. So pretty much a super, super easy trade if you reloaded it here. Right when we called it out, you never went red, 484, 470 range. It popped, came right back down. You could have reaccumulated above your average, doubled down, sold, took profits, whatever, right? However you traded this. Absolute monster here. We saw news came out today for Koya. A lot of hype, a lot of excitement behind it. And overall, the average volume is going up as well, right? See 150,000 shares traded today, right? We've never really seen this volume coming consistently on Koya. It's a really, really good sign. Remember, I said David Einhorn's buying this months ago, right? So smart money and funds, they're accumulating. That's exactly what they're doing. Accumulating everything up here. Boom. Now it's sitting at 8, 9 bucks. Okay. More than double their money. Really, really great trade here. Keep it on your radar. I think a lot more juice to come here. Next is Gain Therapeutics, ticker GANX. Very orderly and again, textbook in the way that it's trading. Higher highs, higher lows, just like that stair-stepping like pattern up. Really, really nice. And again, hopefully looking to bounce off that 21 and then really start to rocket. Seems like a lot more buyer interest here as well, very similar to Koya. And as you could see, kind of illiquid down here, really nothing going on in November, December, and then all of a sudden, look at how much the volume is ramping up on average. A lot of buying volume, demand, and again, pressure. And look at that bounce off $2 not that long ago, right? That was end of November, December. And again, we're up over 100% from that low. So I guarantee smart money was accumulating. Like we mentioned, the same names, Einhorn and a lot of institutions are taking positions here. Had a lot of positive news lately on Gain Therapeutics. I've been screaming about this, I think, since like $2.46. So it's holding very, very well. All we want you to do is just pay attention here. Okay. Now, very possible, like we saw previously, right? Resistance, right? It got smashed all the way down, retested a lower high, pushed down, retested again, pushed down. This resistance is very possible and now breaks out, comes back down, retest, but it could be a higher low, right? Something like that, and continues to go. Maybe it doesn't have to touch this exact pink line or maybe the exact tops, but it's getting very close to where I think it's going to take that next leg up again and bounce. So I just want to again show you guys, even though we're up tremendously, right? I think 246 we alerted, and where are we at now? 454. We're up 84% within about, maybe 3 months, maybe less, 2 months. So very, very quick, right? Even though it's still up these percentages here, right? I think it's very likely that this stock is going to explode. We talked about this being a multi-billion-dollar acquisition potentially. So something, again, you definitely want to keep on your radar. But with both of these stocks, you have to think longer, right? You don't want to just think short term. And that brings me into the third stock, Podcast One. As you can see, I'm bidding for some stock here around 170. If they want to sell it to me lower, I'm going to keep peppering it. This is not something that I'm anticipating on just absolutely rocketing in one specific day, unless, again, there's news I don't know about. I don't mind this just sitting here and doing that and starting to, establish higher ranges over time. I don't mind, like I said, accumulating and just letting it sit here for a couple more weeks, couple more months, have people grab size, go long. And again, when people keep asking me, are you still talking about it? Yes, you shouldn't be asking me about this. If I'm telling you it's more long term, if it's 6, 12, 18 months down the line to where you're at minimum looking for a double, then that's my thought process, right? Hypothetically, we're taking a position here at 180, right? I'm not going to want to sell it till it's probably north of 320, 350, right? Where we're at that 80, 90%. Sure, we could start taking some off the table, 100, 150%. Sure, by all means, you have your own strategy and your own plan, but for me, this doesn't make sense. What am I buying it at 180 for to sell it at 2, right? To sell it at 210. I'm not trying to make a quarter here, right? I want to double my investment or more. I see a very big potential here in a company that's cash flow positive, super tight cap structure, incredible management and board of directors. They're going to buy back stock and retire it. There's all good things surrounding this business. Well, $1.80 is extremely undervalued. I have no idea how people are not jumping on this, especially, after seeing guidance, the numbers, what they're going to do in the future, the IP. I can go on and on, but again, you guys get the point. Next is Terrible. Really, really nice the way it's playing out. Again, super technical. I say this with crypto stocks, whether it's Bitcoin or again, the mining sector, it really follows the technical as well, right? 321 hit 318 to perfection, 270. Again, look at the fib line, 273 off by 3 cents. And again, it's pushed down 21% from the top within 3 trading days. So again, it makes sense. It's very, very technical. Same thing like we saw here, right? Right at the top. And then what happened? It got pushed down, right? Even though it's not huge, right? We see the top 248, the top 246, and then we go all the way to a low. And the same thing happens, right? Drop 17% in one day. So even though, right, it continues the trend, which is an uptrend, right? Even though it's going up, it's pulling back. It's making a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. I get all that. It's still reacting very, very technical to the lines, which I love. Okay, so that's important, right? In terms of upside targets, the same thing applies, right? The fib 228 now, the top 246, and then 270. Very, very short and simple with Wolf. Obviously, it's following Bitcoin. That is the underlying asset there. So, sort of struggling a little bit for 51, 52,000. Once it starts to get a little bit of legs and break out to those mid upper 50s, I think, again, we're going to start to see this really break. And then again, when we zoom out, the big picture here is, again, sort of breaking this high down, right? Taking that next leg and then ultimately retesting, that June, July, or that summer 23 high of $4. Okay. And again, the more we zoom out, the more picture it paints, right? As we zoom out even more, you can see, okay, we could really get to these upper levels, once we crack four. Really, I think once we get on the north side of like, 440, 450, we could start to move, 520, 625, 630. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? One step at a time, right? We haven't seen above four in quite some time, pretty much like, 6, 8 months. So again, one step at a time here with Wolf. Next is CRDL, absolute monster move here. Pretty much the same thing, higher highs, higher lows. We've been calling this out all day, right? From 98 cents all the way up super, super fast. We saw a high here of 170. That was 74% rip, super, super fast. And then when we go on the 4-hour chart here, 189 took a monster leg up today. And then again, pretty much from that, 93% up super fast. About 39 days there total. I'll give you one more here. NRSN looking for some potential news with Biogen, BIIB, again, a multi-billion-dollar company here. This one's holding really well, right? We've seen this happen multiple times on this uptrend, right? Where they sort of yank it down in the beginning of the day, bulls rip it up at the end. Same thing here, right? A lot of these like hammer candle type prints. This is very, very typical for biotech stocks, again, especially these small caps where beginning of the day, nearly every single day, they just get marked down, right? And we see again another really, really big move here, right? NRSN 189 it went up to. I didn't even see that. Again, so if you were able to take advantage of it, some big, big volume here as well in pre-market here on that news. Okay, so maybe again with NRSN that this is going to curl. Very possible, okay, that this is going to be reaccumulated here. I mean, look at this drop. I mean, absolutely crazy here. Just drop 40%. I mean, nuts. But also, again, it did, pump up 40%. So again, either way, just something to look at. A handful of stocks that are really, really performing well, super big in terms of the gains, the consistency. They're not dumping, they're holding very, very strong. 80, 100% above from where we called it out. I think NRSN was pretty much the same. I think it was like 98 cents we called this out. So 98 cents and then all the way to the top there. It's 93% to be fair, somewhere in this, 140, 145 range, 40, 50% gains. So I'm happy with that either way. It's holding well, it's strong, it looks great. And again, if any more news comes, if anything, with this possible Biogen partnership, I think this could absolutely send the stock soaring considering, it's a $200 ticker here. Okay, so that's my breakdown quick. Leave a comment in the section below if you've traded any of these stocks, if you're making money with me. Let me know. Again, we might open the Discord again starting March. Here we have an incredible turnout. Group members are crushing it, making real money. And again, completely free. All we ask your time. If you're serious, if you're a trader that's looking to learn and engage with our community, let me know in the comments section below, and possibly we will give you a private invite link. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the week. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.